Howdy guys, Bookulora here. You may remember me. I used to make videos quite a while ago, but I seem to have stopped doing that now. I'm just so busy lately and I'm hoping to get back into it. I mean, life has been busy. It's that report writing time of year and other stuff going on, but I'm determined to get back into it. So I kind of got as a goal that I'm going to keep doing my choosing my TBR video and keep doing the wrap-ups as a bare minimum. But also next month of July there is also the Reading Rush readathon, yes, and I'm hoping to take part in that. So I'm hoping that that's going to re-inspire me a bit. And also school holidays coming up, so I'll have a lot more time for making videos and a lot more time for reading. Haven't done a lot of reading lately, so maybe that's part of the reason. But anyway, that was rambly. This month I think I've read 4 books. I think so. I'm hoping that I'm going to stumble across another review somewhere that makes me realise that I've read more than that, but I think it's just the 4. It's pretty dismal. I'm not going to lie, I'm going to get my act together in July and sort my life out a bit, do some more reading, but I'm going to insert all the mini reviews of the books that I read and tell you what I think about them. So the first book which I read this month was The Chalk Man by C.J. Tudor. It basically follows a character and it's told in 2 timelines, looking back at his childhood when some incidents took place and then also looking at his adult life as he readdresses the issues, shall we say. There were elements of it that reminded me of Stephen King's It. I think that kind of split timeline and friendship, people looking back on a group of friends when they were really young but something horrific goes wrong, all that jazz. But it's basically that kind of, that murder, mystery, thriller kind of genre, and it does it really well. I can't remember if I gave it 4 stars or 5 stars, but it was definitely up there. I felt that the start of the book had me absolutely gripped. I wanted to know more about these characters, I wanted to know who done it, but the ending fell a bit flat for me. I don't overly remember the reasons why I was sort of unimpressed with the ending. I think it just, similar to when I read Stephen King's It just felt that the premise was so big and so huge, and that actually when you get to the ending and you get all that closure, it isn't satisfying. And I felt that some of the way things were tied up just didn't cut it for me. Didn't make sense. But I loved it. I really loved the start of it, but I don't think I could give it a full 5 stars because the ending was just a little bit meh. But I would encourage other people to read it. So the next book which I've read this month was Notes on a Nervous Planet by Matt Haig. This is one that I love Matt Haig. I talk about him all the time and his positivity for mental health, and I advise everyone to follow him on Twitter and Instagram and things like that, because he's just, if you've ever had mental health problems or mental health difficulties, then he is an inspiration, I suppose is how I describe him. This is basically to do with the way the planet is heading in terms of society being obsessed with social media and things like that. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, then you're going to get it. For me, I didn't enjoy it as much as Reasons to Stay Alive. I felt ever so slightly, and I don't like to say this because I love Matt Haig, but I felt ever so slightly preached to. And yeah, I just didn't enjoy it as much. I didn't feel as absorbed in it, but maybe that's because I don't feel that I have as much of a connection to having social media addiction as I did to having mental health issues. Maybe that is why. Not bad. It felt a bit like it was going over and over the same kind of thing. I do think that it gives a positive message. I mean, I would definitely be going out of this thinking about how, feeling more satisfied with what I have in life, I suppose, which is very positive. So I couldn't give it a low rating, but I just didn't like it as much as Reasons to Stay Alive. Maybe I just wasn't in a good headspace, who knows. So the next book which I read this month was The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers. I was really lucky because I was sent this book by Span, so check out the Span love, I'll leave links, all that jazz. But it basically tells a story of a sort of group of misfit different characters who are all different species and what have you, travelling to do a job a really long way away. I mean, the clue is in the title and all that. But I just didn't love this as much as everybody else in the world. Like, it's sci-fi, it's great fun. you know, there was nothing bad about it. I just didn't fall in love with it like lots of other people. I think it's very character-led rather than plot-driven, and actually I'm a person who likes a lot of plot, so I found that I was often thinking, well, something needs to happen because nothing has happened yet, and I found that quite annoying. And actually there were some weird relationship things in it. I mean, there were some beautiful relationship things with it, and I think that's why a lot of people love it, for their sort of, what's the word, diversity and what have you, and recognition. Oh, wait there, cancel. But there were also some very odd relationships in it which I just weren't for me. I'm not going to go into details because why not, but they weren't for me. I found it a little bit odd. But also, there was something else I was going to say. Oh, I remember. Also, I think a lot of it felt like it was just a big explanation of the different species and what have you. So there would be whole pages and pages and pages where actually it felt like the characters were just talking to inform the reader. It didn't feel natural, and that was something that I found quite clunky and to me. But anyway, personal preference. I enjoyed it, but I'm not feeling the love like everybody else does. And the final book which I finished this month was Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, this blooming massive illustrated edition. I've been reading this book for absolutely ages, but I think because it's so massive, I just kind of leave it in the living room. I don't carry it around, so I was reading a little bit here and a little bit there, but then it was getting towards the end of the month, and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to finish it because my reading hasn't been great this month. I know I love Harry Potter, and let's just get it done. And I really, really enjoyed it. It's put me back in a Harry Potter frame of mind. I'm not going to go into the plot because, you know, but I really enjoyed it. I find it hard, like I say, because it's a hardback, which I don't get along with, and it's big, but the pictures are beautiful, and that does add an element to it. And the story is just fab. The only downside is that I know the story so well that I find myself just waiting for the next thing to happen. And I think that I'm looking forward to reading the rest of the books in the series this way, because I think that a lot of the other books have a lot of details that aren't in the films, so you don't know them. Ooh. Oh, I've just done it again. So you don't know them in the same level of detail that you know this one. So if you're into Harry Potter and you're looking to do a reread, this was a really cool way of doing it. I don't reread books often, but actually I loved it. So there you go. That's my June. Not very impressive, but at least I've still been reading, and I'm bringing you a video for the first time in about 4 weeks. Hopefully things will pick back up in July, but if not, I apologise. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.